Very big welcome to you all on today's second Diamond Gathering for this special month and time of transformation. Remember, still in the overall what is known as the blue castle of chaos and transformation. So things may seem a little bit chaotic. So if we can achieve some degree of focus through the process, then we will be able to see, receive, and be in a position to accept and appreciate the blessings, the gifts of grace, and the little miracles in our lives, even as we go through the transformation. So I have another little story that I'd love to share with you this evening, aside from the one on the email. But miracles are around us every day and all the time in different ways, as long as we open our eyes, open our hearts to actually being able to receive them, and to embrace them. So let's have a quick look at the energies of today being a gap day. Here we've got the harmonic module for you again. And this is where we're at today. And you can see on this particular diagram that this marks the beginning of the final 10 sequential gap day series or sequence in this particular 260-day module. So it has been a very intense time since we started the process. When we joined together for the last journey, we were right at the heart of the talking, right at the center of the mystic core column here. Today being an 11/11 portal day, 29th of January to a nun's 11. So we have 11/1/1. So we have an 11/11 gift, an opportunity to step into our highest essence today. Um, so Gap Day, as we know, brings us enhanced ability to connect with the cosmic energies and the characterization or the character of the energy today. It's known as the white electric world bridger. An electric is about movement, it's about energy, it's about external manifestation. So the white electric world bridger, these are the glyphs that actually describe it. It's in the wave spell of the yellow seed, which is about sowing the seeds of our intentions for moving forward. So we're on day 3 of this particular wave spell. So there's another 10 days through this gap column of utilizing these potentized energies to be able to reinforce those particular intentions that we seed for the next 260 days of this particular cycle, and to see us through the year. The white electric world bridger is the energy that helps us to let go of limiting beliefs and to enable or to access the essence and energy of forgiveness so that we can end cycles and move forward guided by the power of love. And reading these particular glyphs, the central one is the world bridger. This glyph above it is the guide, and this is the white dog, and the white dog represents love. So the whole guide for the energy at the moment is about love. So I'm guided by the power of love, and all of those are amplified. So it's the power of love to transform, to release limiting beliefs, and to engage the essence and energy of the heart for forgiveness. When we do that, we bridge the worlds. We become living manifestations of the divine in the material, and in the world in which we experience our lives, if you like. So it's a beautiful and a very potent day. So not surprisingly, what we're going to focus on through the session today is to enable ourselves to receive greater miracles and gifts of grace through clearing the heart space, through forgiveness and letting go of limiting beliefs that we may have about ourselves, about whether we deserve, to clear through limiting beliefs around our ability to be able to manifest miracles in our lives, to clear limiting beliefs, conflicts around any expectations that we have, for instance, sort of about the way that we think things should show up. And that's always a very potent lesson for all of us. And I'd like to just share with you another story, another little story about miracles that actually happened. And this goes back probably about 6 years. And it was at a time when I was dealing with my little dogs who were getting old and they were both diabetic and blind, so they needed a lot of extra care. And I was going through a very difficult stage where I didn't seem able to manifest enough in the way of funds to be able to pay the expenses and see me through. And it got to a point where I was, I had whatever I needed because my dogs always took priority. They were little souls that I had committed to taking care of in life, and whatever they needed, I was going to provide them with. So I very often during that year went without in order to be able to provide my dogs with what was important or significant for them. And the insulin, obviously, to regulate their whole diabetes was really important. So at this time, I had enough money to pay for their insulin, but my local vet at the time was actually refusing to write me a prescription because he wanted to see the dogs for a consultation. He'd seen them not even 6 months prior to that, but he was refusing to write me another script unless he actually saw the dogs again. And only then would he give me the insulin. And this both horrified, it disappointed me, it shocked me that somebody who was supposedly there under the guise of compassion for animals and wanting to care for animals would actually deny. I mean, I was really, really angry and upset at the time because I actually said to the vet, I can't afford a consultation. I've got the money for the insulin. I just need to be able to buy their insulin because that's what's important to keep my animals going and balanced and stable. And he was refusing. And my comment was, I don't believe this. This is a vet, and you were actually quite prepared to have them die from lack of insulin and have their blood sugar and all of their metabolism go out of control. But because I can't afford to actually bring them in for a consultation, I was just horrified. And I was really upset and I was angry and I was all sorts. And I tried everything I could contacting other vets, trying to actually find a way to be able to get the insulin that my animals needed to care for them at that time. And nothing was working. Absolutely nothing was working. And I was distraught. So I sat down the one day and it was like I'd been backed into a corner again. And I sat there and I went into meditation and I said, Big Jules, I just don't understand this. What is it that you want me to do? Higher self, there's obviously something that I need to unlock, something that I need to work through. What is it that you want me to do? And I went into a meditation as much as I could within the emotional state that I was in at the time. And went into a meditation, and immediately I was presented with two very, very key ancestral guardians. And there were a huge number of synchronicities that actually appeared around them that confirmed for me that what I was seeing and witnessing was actually real and not just my imagination. So I came out of the meditation, went and checked up on some of the symbols, and my jaw nearly dropped on the floor. Went back into the meditation and I said, right, I know that you're there. What is it that you want me to do? And I was told at that time was December 2010. So we were coming up to the December solstice, which that year was a 333 day, 21st to the 12th, 2010. All adds up to threes. It was the 333. And this was earlier in December. And I was told that what I had to do was to actually create a meditation for ancestral healing and to put it out to the community for everybody to be able to access and to put it out on a donation basis only. So I didn't actually even really question this because I'd been told that that's what I had to do. So I did it. I recorded it. I was told I had to record it on the 12th, which was another 333 day. Record it on the 12th and put it out to the community, and we would all do it as well as a group on the 21st. So this I did, put it out, donation only, and I didn't have any expectations about what would happen. Shoved the anxiety to the back of my mind while I actually created the process and did what was needed. And what I was so amazed by in doing this was I trusted the message. I trusted the information that I'd actually been given. I did what I was asked to do, what was asked of me by higher guidance to do. People had the most amazing experiences with that healing, ancestral healing meditation. And within a week of me putting that out, donation only, I had enough funds that had come in to actually cover my rent, to see us through Christmas, and to be able to do what we needed for my dogs. Everything was there that I needed for that time. And it just, it was then that I kind of looked at it all. Now, that to me was a miracle. That absolutely was a miracle. And it was brought into being through a process of surrendering to what is, going, okay, I just don't know what to do. This is the way the situation is. I give up. I don't know what it is that you want me to do. Higher self, what is it that you want me to do? There's obviously something I'm missing. And just through the process of those small steps taken in another direction there was no promise of anything at the end of it. No promise at all that this would work. This was just, this is what you need to do. And blow me down as a consequence of that supreme trust without knowing. And sometimes that's what is asked of us in life in order for those miracles to show up, is that supreme trust in taking just that one next step, in listening to that voice within. So what we want to do also this evening is to hopefully strengthen that voice within so that you get to experience more of the amazing nature of those divine synchronicities, those beautiful divine gifts of grace, and the wonders that can happen when we surrender, because surrender is such a key word in our experience of the magic of the divine. We have to surrender to the process and let go of all of those limiting beliefs. So in order for me to be able to do that meditation, I had to let go of all the limiting beliefs that I actually had, and that was also interesting. I had always, up until that point, not considered the gifts that were inherent in our ancestral lineages and the healing that can actually take place through that. I'd been schooled and I had been raised and fascinated by science, and science was always the way that I went. I still love science. I absolutely adore, sort of bridging science and the the non-material realms. That's part of my work. But for this, it was really significant because I'd always ignored the power of the ancestral energy, the power of the ancestral lineages, and the power of the ancestral voice. So it required me to let go of those limiting beliefs that I had held around that in order to be able to do that work. And through that piece of work, opened up a new flow that enabled me to be and to do what was required of me and to be able to provide the care that I wanted to. And it took deep surrender, deep acceptance, and deep trust. So I hope that that little story also, sometimes those stories and the stories that we have provide inspiration for other people, because it says, I don't sit here um, any better or higher than any of you. You are part of this amazing community. You are all diamonds. We are who we are. I have been through many, many struggles. It's not about being a martyr or a victim. It's just utilizing the way through those struggles and the stories that surround that in order to provide inspiration for others on their own journey through life. And especially when it comes to the diamond journey, because the diamond journey is the ultimate journey from darkness into light. So we're often presented, and we acknowledge that we're presented with aspects of ourselves that lie in the unconscious or the darkness through this process and through this journey. So I really hope that that supports you on your own journey, and that it has relevance and meaning for you. I'm just going to put the light on. Excuse me here. Okay. So I left this slide in because I may or not use it in the process. Remember this one from the first meditation that we did, where we invoked and we gave gratitude to the 7 galactic directions, and that was chiefly because we were sitting at the heart of the Tolkien. That was a day when we were bringing everything into that perfect and acknowledging the perfect space of balance that we were in. So leaving that up, just to give you an idea of how those directions, the cosmic galactic directions, align with the diamond, if you need a reminder. But what I was more interested in, and what I really wanted to share with you, with these messages and the understanding of forgiveness. You know, I've come across so many people just recently as well who find it so difficult to forgive other people because they're still carrying around the hurt, the pain, the wrongs, and that victim mentality around whatever was actually perpetrated towards them. Um, and I love these little quotes because it says, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. And it does take great strength to be able to extend forgiveness. And I think the most important thing is, ultimately, is that it's not necessarily about forgiving the other person, and forgiveness never condones atrocious behavior from somebody else. It never says that the behavior is okay or that what they did is okay, but it releases you from attachment to the drama. And that is the key. And it takes great strength to be able to do that because it's much, much easier to stay in that essence and energy of victimhood and find every reason why we should not forgive. We've had occasions within our family to be able to extend forgiveness to one of the senior members of our family who's now passed on, who it came to light only many, many years later had been involved in sexual abuse of some of the younger female members in the extended family. And that was a really traumatic time for the entire family to go through. Um, and one of the family members just absolutely, absolutely refused to even listen to any concept of forgiveness. Many of them turned their back on the family member completely and just refused to have anything to do with him at all. But the one that was adamant about not forgiving, who was adamant about now softening, has major problems with gallstones, major problems with her blood, major health problems as a consequence of a lot of the bitterness that she still holds on to. So one can actually see the health effects of something that is easier to hold on to than it is to actually let go. But the consequences for us actually doing that are enormous. The consequences to our health, to our emotional well being, and to our peace of mind, which is what I love about this other quote. Forgive others not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. And that is the most important thing because we want to actually find the peace in our own heart. One of the things that I found so much easier to do um, in respect of forgiveness is the understanding that, you know, that wonderful expression, what goes around comes around. And I don't wish it on anybody at all, but I've seen it in action. I've actually seen it. I was given that as an experience sort of quite early on in my journey, and it was just quite amazing to witness it. And in that moment, I just felt so much compassion for the individual for whom that adverse or negatively based behavior that had been perpetrated on others, towards others, when that came back to them. Because the pain that they were going through at that time is not something that I would wish on anybody. And to see that helped me to develop a great deal of compassion and the ability to let things go with greater ease and to be at peace that it's not my job and it's not our jobs, it's not your job. Um, to be able to sort of put events in motion that are going to show up their behavior for what it is and for the impact that it's having. That doesn't mean not taking action to establish your boundaries. Let's just make that clear. But it means that we don't take that on board as a responsibility to fix anybody else because the cycle of life, the cycle of events, the nature of the universe itself, the nature of love, the nature of our souls means that if that is a lesson that somebody else has to learn, they will learn that lesson, whether it's in this lifetime or whether it's in the next. And it's going to happen. I've had a few occasions where that has been really brought home to me that even while I do struggle with some of the events, some of the difficulties and challenges that I might go through, has still made it easier for me to let go and to forgive and to release myself from that drama and from those chains. So I hope that actually adds a little bit. I know most of it you guys would actually already know. The beauty of working with the diamond is that it expands our ability to connect at this level. It expands our ability to experience the love of our hearts and to be able to extend that wherever it is needed, whether that is in reducing the conflict within ourselves, whether that is extending love to others, because that is what they need. Most people who engage in acts do so because they're in a state of pain of some kind, generally speaking, whether it's acknowledged or not, because sometimes it's so deeply buried that it is actually that they're not aware of it. But there is some kind of pain which would actually be initiating or driving some of those behaviors. So perhaps give a little bit of thought to where forgiveness may be needed in your own life and forgiveness towards yourself. Forgiveness towards yourself for all the difficulties that you have perhaps or blame yourself for creating in your life. Forgiveness for the times when you didn't listen to the guidance of your higher self and then stumbled. Forgiveness for whatever it may be. So the self-forgiveness and forgiveness of others that actually form a vital part of this process. And one of the limiting beliefs could actually be, I can't forgive or I find it difficult to forgive. So really think about that. So the two light codes that we're going to use for the process today are the good old, and I just always love it, the jewel in the heart. And to me, it's a heart amplifier. It really just expands and resonates our ability to connect with the love at a very deep level. And in conjunction with that, so we're going to work with placing this code into the center of the jewel in the heart in the process so that we hold the essence. I mean, this is also, it's a very sweeping, flowing movement. And there are these little glistening, beautiful, almost sort of pale magenta pink diamonds echoing around in this particular light code. So we're going to draw it into the heart of the jewel in the heart, and we're going to hold it there for the process and open the way and open some additional doors for your miracle and for love. So, how are you guys? Is there anything that you would like to share? I'm just going to have a drink before we go into the process. You're all very quiet this evening. It's evening for me, but very quiet today. Okay, let's see. We got. Ah, thank you, Bunny. She says, amazing story. You're so gifted at hearing. At times I don't hear for myself. This is very liberating. Yeah. Facing a huge forgiveness issue, so this is perfect. Listening and feeling deeply. Thank you. Okay. No, that's wonderful. I really just, it's important, I think, to just flow with the process. And forgiveness is key in order to be able to step forward into the new energy. Yeah, I know that's it. And it's very challenging. And believe me, as I sit here with you guys, I fully appreciate how hard it is. Because each time I've been put into that situation, I have found it very difficult, depending on the severity of the circumstances and the depth of the challenge. Found it very difficult to let go and forgive. And I usually stew over things for a couple of days until I get to the point where I'm able to let it go. Yeah, it does that. Linda says the F diamond has a singing energy. Yeah, it does. It's a beautiful, uplifting, very gentle tone that actually goes with that note. So one can almost imagine, for me, when I look at that, it's almost imagining the angelic support that's actually holding it and holding the space for us to be able to extend that forgiveness to others. So there's always a gift, there's always an opportunity, there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. And I often think, if I can just share this with you, I often think that that's one of the reasons why Spirit took me through so many difficult circumstances in this journey and on the diamond journey in order to remain relatable to others. Because it says, I understand, and I truly do, just how challenging some of the life circumstances are. It's not all love and light and fairies and angels. Sometimes it's really deep, hard work. Sometimes it is engaging in the destruction of those old belief patterns. And we need something that's really going to hit us in the face in order to help us to break down and destroy those old belief patterns so that we can replace them with something else. You know, the belief in victimhood or the belief that nothing will work, the belief that I'm not good enough, the belief, whatever it might be. So that I actually see as just being part of the gift. So we've got another message here. I'm always surprised how I can flow when speaking to people about what I believe, but I still have the patterns to a certain extent that need releasing. Awareness is a wonderful thing, and that's absolutely what it is. You know, and there is absolutely no judgment in this space because I sit and share with you everything that I've experienced. Teachers can only teach from what they've experienced. Yeah. There's a lovely quote from Manuela. She says, forgiveness is returning to unity, remembering that we are one. I had this thought yesterday and it helped so much. And it's helping us to return to the oneness, the wholeness of our being within, which can only be done through the heart. It's the unification of our whole being. Whatever we don't forgive or have struggle forgiving remains as a fragment of ourselves that is outside of ourselves. So, in essence, it is about reclaiming those aspects and fragments in order to regain that wholeness and the unity within as well. So, very powerful thought. Thank you for that, Manuela. Okay, so if you guys are all interested, I'm not going to waffle on anymore this evening. Just going to go into the process. You all ready? Sound good? Mhm. Okay. Ready, ready. Okay, everyone. Okay. So, as always, make sure that you're comfortable. Feet flat on the floor. Make sure that your arms and legs are uncrossed. And just begin by focusing on your breathing as you gently breathe in and out, allowing the flow to bring you to a place and space within of deep surrender into the depths of your beingness, surrendering your consciousness not to anything out there, but surrendering your consciousness into your body, filling and expanding your being with your breath, being the fullness of your presence in your physical form. Breathe it in. Just in this moment, be aware of all that is going on around you. From where I sit, I can hear the ocean, the waves against the shore. What do you hear in your environment? What is it that indicates to you that you are present and aware? And notice how you can be aware of the sounds around you without becoming entangled or distracted by them, for they are simply there. For your awareness is not limited to your physical body, but extends out into your entire environment. And when we can sharpen our awareness to be able to connect with all of the minute occasions and things happening around us, to the small sound movements, this gives us an expanded awareness of our higher self and our ability to notice when things change in our environment in small and subtle ways. This expanded sense of awareness supports us in recognizing the smallest of miracles, the smallest instances, the fleeting instances of beauty and love that show up all around us all the time. And as you breathe, you now invoke the power, the stability, the sharpness and clarity of your diamond, created around you, anchored at the base of your spine, stretched to below your feet and above your head, out equally in all directions. Breathe it into being as you connect with your higher self and with your soul star and with your earth star below, with the earth, the mother. And with your pineal gland, with your third eye, see yourself looking out through the facets of your diamond. Notice how, as you breathe in and breathe enhanced light into your diamond space, how the clarity of what you see in your surroundings with your third eye, with your inner vision, sharpens. Just practice that for a moment and imagine that you are seeing everything in the room that you're sitting through your third eye. Bring it into focus. Be aware of how much you can really see when you engage both your physical eyes as well as your inner vision. And all the while, you hold the stability of the core of your diamond as it runs from your soul star down to your earth star along your spine. The light you draw into your diamond feeds your nervous system, heightening the sensitivity of all of the nerves in your spinal column, the nerves in your skin, alerting you to changes in your environment, changes before you even witness them with your vision. You sense. Breathe the energy in, allow it to transmit along your nerves to every part of your body, into your solar plexus nerve junction, into your skin, and give the intention and the program that you be alerted through signals or by signals through your nervous system of any shifts or changes that you need to be aware of, that your higher self wishes to alert you to. And as you see the intention into your nervous system, to see you through and to carry you through the coming months, you may become aware of places in your body where that sensitivity is enhanced more than others. Follow the nerves, follow the light, and notice where there may be resistances within your nerve network. Which organs do they relate to? What parts of the body do those resistances exist in? Where awareness may be diminished. And wherever there is resistance, there is belief system associated with that resistance. Ask your body, ask your higher self in this enhanced space of your diamond to bring into conscious awareness the belief system or pattern or limitation that is being shown to you at this moment in time. Explore around your body. any other areas of resistance, and whatever beliefs, limiting beliefs, may be associated with them. What aspects or elements of forgiveness are desired around those limiting beliefs? Can you forgive yourself for adopting, taking on board that programming in the first place? So often that programming is simply something that you were born into, born with. It's inherited from your lineage, your culture, your environment, your surroundings. For all that we are bombarded with, both consciously and unconsciously in our development, contributes towards our limiting beliefs. Ask to be shown the origin of this limiting belief. Whose is it? Where does it belong to? Does it come from an ancestor way back in the lineage? Does it come from somebody in your more immediate environment? Or was it triggered by somebody in your environment? Ask your higher self within this space. For today we stand within an 1111 portal, a gift of unification, a gift of wholeness, a gift of oneness, an opportunity for us to become at one with ourselves. So ask to be shown the origin of these beliefs and what forgiveness may be required for whoever and wherever these beliefs were seeded into your existing matrix. You may see people, faces popping up around you, circumstances, situations. Some may be familiar, some not so. Just spend a few moments allowing yourself to observe. Keep breathing into light into your nervous system and then out into your body, following the flows and encountering the resistances, following the process to establish the limiting belief in the individuals or circumstances associated with those. Breathe through. And in this space, as you're observing this, follow that thread through another step further. Breathe into your diamond and make it bigger. Bigger so that it enfolds and encompasses all those circumstances and people, shining a light onto their makeup, onto their beingness. And as you do, you see the threads that continue out through them and beyond. Where within their lives did that belief or that limitation become inculcated, become embedded, programmed into and through them? Scan all of the circumstances and situations. Follow the threads as you breathe. And expand the picture. As your diamond becomes yet more expanded and connects into the cosmic grids within which all of the others are also connected. And you can now see through your expanded space and your enhanced awareness where the fabric of the greater diamond grid begins to break down through all of these situations. And you realize that by your journey to wholeness, you adjust the energy flows through the diamond fabric, bringing healing to all. Just for now, notice where all of those threads extend. You may at this moment begin to experience the depth of compassion, an opening of your heart, and enhanced ability for forgiveness. Because when we can expand our awareness and see more of the picture, we have a greater ability to forgive not only ourselves, but all of the others. Breathe into your diamond space now, the jewel in the heart light code, that beautiful structure with a heart and burst of pure light at the very center of the interlocking diamonds. It shimmers and it glows as a three-dimensional doorway. At the moment you see it in front of you, and into the center of that code, ask for the forgiveness light code to become embedded within that central portion, within the heart of this most precious jewel of love. And one by one, you now direct that light code to each of the individuals or circumstances that requires forgiveness. So between you and that situation, you have this magical doorway holding the energy of the heart and forgiveness wide open for you. See yourself stepping into this space, and if you feel ready and able to extend that energy which you are now surrounded by to the person connected at the end of that thread, invite them into this space with you. Invite them to share and to bathe in this loving space. As you open your heart, open your arms, and see yourself embracing them with forgiveness. And as you do, the ripple of gentle love, peace, and acceptance that makes its way back along your nervous system, infusing your entire energetic infrastructure with peace, with love, with surrender into your beingness. Your nervous system becomes alive with a greater propensity to align with the frequency of divine miracles, blessings, and gifts, for you have become, through each of these forgiveness extensions, a living blessing, a living divine miracle for others. Move with that light code through each of the extensions that you have identified, where you need to extend forgiveness for any limiting beliefs or challenging situations that have caused you pain, caused you to retract your energy, and caused resistance within your energy fields, within your body and your beingness. I'm going to leave you for a few moments as you continue this exercise through each of those threads of your nervous system. Each one of these situations that you have placed your focus on represents the fragment of yourself that has been missing from the jigsaw puzzle of your wholeness, of your life. And each one of these acts or extensions of love and forgiveness enables you to receive once more those fragments back into the greater wholeness of you. Breathe those aspects back to you, into your body, into your diamond, enlivening your nervous system, enhancing your awareness, expanding your heart, healing your heart. And as you surrender into this recreated whole space, it is with a sense of knowing at a very deep level that you are all that you could ever need to be. You are perfect. You are beautiful. You are worthy. You are whole. And you are a conduit for the divine, a conduit for the delivery of grace from Source, a receiver of miracles. For miracles are love. And the more love we are, the more we surrender to that love within, the more receptive we become to those frequencies of divine gifts. And in this enhanced space, spend a few moments communing with or asking your higher self for advice, support, or information for your life right now, for the best, most relevant seeds of intention to sow within your being, to carry you forward through this next phase of the journey. You may wish to plant roses, but your higher self wishes for you to plant chrysanthemums. What does your higher self desire for you to seed into your life? And when you have clarity and awareness of that seed, of that intention, place that intention deep into the heart of your Earth Star Energy Center, that which is in contact with the Earth. For that intention will be nourished as you take each step through your life, each day forward from here on. Allow that intention to guide your actions, movements, words, and direction as it is nourished by your entire being and given life through your presence and interaction with the Great Mother, our planet. And see yourself now standing arms wide outstretched as your soul star energy center opens up like a funnel to receive the influx of cosmic frequencies from divine source, from galactic center, a shower of golden light particles to feed and nourish your intentions, to provide the sustenance for your wholeness and development. Most of all, the shower of cosmic particles that you open to receive enhances your connection and ability to recognize the love, not only that you are, the love that you extend and experience through life. And as you take a deep breath in, those golden particles embed within your body and within your being, sharpening your already enhanced senses and awareness, infusing your entire energetic system with joy, deep, abiding joy in life, in your life. Let us all join those of us connected through this community as we join our diamonds now, envisage an interwoven, interconnected grid across continents and across countries, sharing this joy, this wholeness, this love, this gift of miracles, and the divine blessing of healing, of love and forgiveness with each other. And as we do, the energy infuses the rest of the Earth's grids out to have impact in places we may know not where and when. People we may never meet may be touched by a seed or a spark of light that we have sowed into the planetary grids. Each of you represents an aspect of the healing of humanity. In gratitude now for all of you, for who you are, for your very being, bring your wholeness back into present awareness, present time. With a deep breath in and breathe out. Bring your consciousness back into this 3D awareness, back to the voice, to my voice, Be aware of the vibrations in your body as you take one more deep breath in and breathe. When you are ready, gently now open your eyes and return. Okay, everybody, are you back? I think it's taking a while for people to come back into consciousness. How are you feeling? That's interesting. There was a comment, very interesting. Lots of awarenesses, but not sure what I saw or felt. That's okay. We know that when we also redo these processes, that can become clearer. But also, it's not just that, but it's often post the process itself. And don't forget, we've got another 9 gap days after this one. That it's often after the process that the clarity also comes in. That some of the effects that have been put into motion start being realized. So it may be over the next couple of days that those awarenesses become consolidated and clarified. Like that. Saw the forgiveness light code really clearly. I could feel that happening. I could see those threads going through. I was just very aware of the buildup of compassion and I don't know whether you guys experience this, but what I was seeing with the threads going through from people and situations where very often there was a thread going on beyond them and behind them into a program that they had been fed or into, and behind them somebody else, and it really was just a space of compassion for and love really for the human race, because that's what's happened, that's what we carry, and that's where we as individuals are the point of convergence for this. So what we do matters, um, and has real impact and ripples throughout timelines and grids. So we've got also lots of intense pressure in my third eye. Um, Well, I'm not sure, what that means. Somebody's commented, heard someone say today it's changing to become the fifth eye. Okay, so I was releasing negative emotions around pain inflicted by institutions in Germany, still seem to run some of the old energy. Oh, absolutely, Manuela. Those grids are something else. There's so much work to be done in Germany in different places. It still exists in pockets. I did, and I must just share this with you. I did a remote session with somebody who was living in Berlin last year, and what I saw immediately when I connected with him was that old corrupt energy. It wasn't so much the Holocaust energy, but it was the corruption prior to that in Berlin that was deeply embedded into the grids in the area that was triggering him because of his sensitivity. It was a very, very interesting process. So there are pockets of that energy um, that still require healing. Well done. So we've got, I was in my diamond, it started spinning counterclockwise, releasing ancestral stuff no longer needed, then spinning clockwise, infusing for, in forgiveness and love. Thank you. Yeah. Felt distinct feelings of grudge, unfairness. Yeah. Knowing too much and the lie of adoption programming, and with each thread sent to each, the release was physical, bringing me to ease and wholeness. Oh, that's beautiful inside. Lovely. Got energy around my German ancestors. That's another. That's Bunny. Manuela says. I was releasing hate towards my daughter's teachers. Fascinating. Yeah, it's then we come face to face with all of that. It's the translation and the transmutation of our shadow. Uh, Katie says there's Native American dislocation stuff embedded similar to specifics of Germany. Yes. There's so much, I mean, it really does ripple out. It all turned into hope and trust into the institutions. There's so much that we can do around this, and it may seem small. We may look outside and not really see things changing, but there are things happening beyond our level of conscious physical awareness that sometimes we need to tune in at that energetic level with that sharpened awareness and see. So we've got, I also saw energy around my mum's line and around the downfall of Atlantis. Yeah, it goes way back throughout the grids, those obstacles and belief systems. There are lots of traumas, and a lot of people don't realize this. There are some fundamental traumas that have caused a fracturing within the human psyche. Those traumas actually relate, and it's a collective thing because humanity suffered through incredible trauma in times of great change and cataclysm that actually happened on this planet. It's no good pretending that it didn't happen and that we can prevent it from happening again, because this was cataclysm that was part and parcel of our interaction with the cosmos. And this happened, and the memory, the traumas of that, the great flood, meteors, actually killing whole populations of people. And this, we're talking thousands and thousands of years ago, but the effects and the impacts of that stay embedded and fractured as trauma within the human psyche. So many of the things that we experience, we may not even recognize current source for, but the more we heal into and follow these threads through our existing or current circumstances, the more we begin to heal those fractures that exist within the collective. So it's part and parcel of the work that we are doing, but most importantly, we bring a gift of wholeness to ourselves because we're able to recognize and acknowledge the impact that all of that has had on us. So the Holocaust is part of a cultural collective. The Native American dislocation is part of a cultural collective. Sort of all of those things we can impact, and we are impacted by at an unconscious level. If we consider that there's only between 5 and 10% of our essence which is consciously known to us, and the rest sits below the level of consciousness in the unconscious, there is so much that we are impacted by that we are really only starting to find out about. So that is it's a wonderful exercise to heal both personal and collective fractures, and to regain yet more of your wholeness each time you do it. And as you do that, you become more of the frequency for miracles. You receive yet more of the love of divine miracles. The more whole we are, the more aligned we are for that flow through us. So I hope you enjoyed the process. I absolutely loved sharing it with you. I was seeing a lot going on as we were in that space, and it was a lot of really, really beautiful work and beautiful infusions, not only into each of your grids, but into the collective grids too. So I just want to thank you as always for showing up, for being here, for sharing in the energy, because um, there is just a really special gift and a love that is shared within this community. And I do deeply appreciate all of you, and I wish for you many more miracles in unexpected and beautiful ways in your life as an acknowledgement of your journey and the work that you have done. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording and just say thank you once again for supporting and being a part of this process.